Good morning, our dairy cattle exhibitors, specifically our Guernsey and Ayrshire exhibitors. It's showtime. Looks like we're ready. We're bringing in our spring calves over in our Guernsey ring for Judge Jamie Howard. And in our Ayrshire ring, we'll be bringing in our spring calves for Judge Greg Evans. Well, as our cattle come into the ring, it'll be the first of many announcements here today, but we'd certainly like to thank those young women who are helping us here today, some royalty from both of our breeds. We've got Chelsea Watts, our Kentucky Ayrshire Queen, helping with awards in the Ayrshire ring. Chelsea's from Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Over in our Guernsey show ring, we've got our Kentucky Guernsey Queen, Miss Lillian Storm Hayes. She's proudly representing Rockhaven Genetics based in Rockcastle County. Miss Lillian is majoring in psychology at Somerset Community College and plans to be a counselor. So some very qualified help here today with our awards. So we thank our Guernsey and Ayrshire royalty here today. As these cattle are coming in the ring, it's certainly a good time to introduce our judges. Over in our Guernsey ring, it's always good to see a native son come home. Jamie Howard, originally from Flemingsburg, Kentucky, now lives in Burgessville, Ontario with his wife Angela and 3 daughters, Madison, Morgan, and Mackenzie. Jamie is the Director of Sales at EastGen, better known as CEMEX here in the U.S. His territory covers Ontario and the Atlantic provinces of Canada. Jamie operates under the Howard View prefix with his Holstein operation and has judged shows on all levels in the U.S. and Canada. Jamie has showed, developed, and sold several All-American and All-Canadian nominees in his career. So welcome, Jamie. Welcome home. Happy to have you here. Over in our Ayrshire ring, our judge is Gregory Evans of Georgetown, New York. Greg operates Sunny Acres Farm along with his parents Doug and Catherine and wife Kathy. Sunny Acres Farm is a 6th-generation dairy consisting of 95 head of registered Ayrshires. Sunny Acres has bred, owned, or developed over 200 All-American or Junior All-American nominations, and currently the herd is composed of 26 excellent, 22 very good, and 4 good plus individuals, with 5 animals reaching the maximum score of 94 points. Sunny Acres has exhibited 14 Grand National Champions since 1992, including the Grand Champion at World Dairy Expo in 2013 with Sunny Acres TSB Silk, Excellent 94. Multiple bulls have been placed in AI that called Sunny Acres home, including Libby's Lochinvar. They've achieved the Constructive Breeder Award 28 times, which accounts for the herd's performance in both production and classification. In 2013, Greg received the Young Ayrshire Leader Award for his involvement in many aspects of the U.S. Ayrshire Breeders Association, including serving on several committees and selecting for 3 national convention sales. Along with working on the farm, Greg has been entrusted by various farms to procure top animals for their own show strings. Cows such as Merrily Gentleman Carmina, Excellent 94, the grand champion of the 2021 World Dairy Expo, and 2 former reserve intermediate champions at World Dairy Expo have been bought and sold through Greg, as well as many other national show winners. Greg has judged over 50 local, district, and state shows in the past 10 years, taking him to 7 different states, 1 province in Canada, Australia, South Africa, and Colombia. Greg and his wife are welcoming the 7th generation of Sunny Acres Farm, Emery Evans, and look forward to sharing the love of the Ayrshire breed with her. So obviously a highly, highly qualified judge here in our Ayrshire ring. Welcome to Greg Evans. And over in our Guernsey ring, Judge Howard's completed his placings on our first class of the day, our large spring calf class. Jamie, your thoughts on our first class and beautiful class of spring calves? Congratulations to the winner of our Guernsey Spring Heifer Calf class. That's entry number 8. Also first Kentucky owned, Kentucky Blue Torpedo Referee, exhibited by Gibson Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 4, Knapp's Rocket Tonight, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, Carrier and Hayes of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. We'll do our entire lineup here following our reasons on our Ayrshire Spring Heifer Calf class. Second in the Ayrshire Calf class is entry number 13, Old and Lazy Auto Win, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics, Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. And winning the class, and also first Kentucky owned, is entry number 14, SNK Margaritaville, exhibited by JSB Acres, Carter Brandstetter, and Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Evans, your comments on our spring calf class.
Well, what a beautiful way to start the day out. A really nice lineup of heifers. But in saying that, a really handy winner in our first place individual. She comes out and snaps your attention. She's so hard top. She's so pretty out on the move. Combines that dariness with strength all the way through. And it is the advantage she has over the second place heifer on her mobility. You see her out on the move. She tracks straighter when viewed from the rear. I prefer the thurl structure. Those thurls sit more in between her hooks and pins compared to our second place heifer. Also being nicer and neater up through that chine than our second place heifer today. Second over third, just more length of frame and length of body. When you got them standing in line, the second place heifer just outmasses our third place heifer, especially in that dairy rib structure. She's a cleaner boned individual when you get her down through that hock compared to our third place heifer. Also tracking straighter when viewed from the rear. Third over fourth, just so much more of her. She's taller at the withers, hooks, and pins. She's longer from end to end. Heifer shows us more drop to that forerib than our fourth place heifer. Also showing us more length to her rear rib and more expansion through her midsection compared to this heifer in fourth. The fourth place heifer, a really balanced, nice made heifer. And heifer is just so much more correct through her rump structure than the heifer we have coming out in fifth. I prefer the way that tail head sits down between those pins. She's more level from hooks to pins compared to our fifth place heifer, a really dairy heifer we have coming out in fifth. Followed up by a really nice lineup of heifers, well grown and well made all the way down the line. Congratulations.
If you're marking your catalogs along with us today, there were 10 Ayrshire Spring calves. Our winning entry was entry number 14. She was also first Kentucky owned, SNK Margaritaville, exhibited by JSB Acres, Carter Brandstetter, and Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 13, Old and Lazy Auto Win, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics, Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. Third in the class, entry number 12, Lazy M Strike Tahoe, exhibited by Bailey Comar of Glasgow. Fourth, to entry number 6, Bratcher View A Monkey, exhibited by Joe Bratcher and Alex Bratcher of Crab Orchard, Kentucky. Fifth in the class to entry number 5, Baker's Fashion Derby, exhibited by Casey Baker and Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Sixth, entry number 15, Klein's Wisher's Riddle Riot, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Seventh, to entry number 8, Stellar Challenge Sonic, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Eighth in the class, entry number 1, Baker's Fashion MW Arrow, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Ninth in the class, entry number 3, Logsdon Robinson Velveeta, owned by Gracie Logsdon and McCoy Kinslow of Park City, Kentucky. And 10th in the class, entry number 9, Lace Acres Auto Dazzle, exhibited by Ivy Bell Patterson of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Congratulations. We'll catch up in our Guernsey show as well. Where there were 12 spring heifer calves exhibited. A large class to start our day. Our class winner was entry number 8. She was also first Kentucky owned, Kentucky Blue Torpedo Referee, exhibited by Gibson Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 4, Knapp's Rocket Tonight, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, Carrier and Hayes of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Third in the class, to entry number 106, Knapp's Rocket Troublemaker, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Fourth, to entry 14, Heritage Brook Torpedo True Heart, exhibited by Emma Ricker and Callie Collette of Chuckey, Tennessee. Fifth in the class, to entry number 9, RHBV CV DJ Unity, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes, Carrier and Bratcher of Broadhead, Kentucky. Sixth in the class, to number 7, Stylecrest Thunder Sugar, exhibited by Stylecrest of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Seventh, to entry number 11, Stylecrest Cadet Collins, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Eighth in the class, to entry number 5, Knapp's Missile Spike Tea, exhibited by Kennedy Waddell of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Ninth, to entry number 1, FKN Torpedo Tulsa Time, exhibited by Fisher, Knapp, and Potter of Scottsville, Kentucky. And 10th in the class, to entry number 6, Red Carpet Dreamcatcher, exhibited by Kennedy and Maggie Waddell of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now in the ring in the Guernsey show is our winter calf class. And over in the Ayrshire show ring, the same class, our winter calves, are in front of Judge Greg Evans. We've also got an additional young woman helping us with our awards here in the Ayrshire show. We'd like to thank Brianna Good, the Kentucky Ayrshire Princess from Liberty, Kentucky, for joining us to help with the Ayrshire show. Over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in our winter heifer calf class. Second in the class is entry number 20, Red Carpet Torpedo Tokyo, exhibited by Callie Collette and Emma Ricker of Chucky, Tennessee. Winning the class is entry number 17, also first Kentucky-owned Cooley Crest Theo Sweetie, exhibited by Haley Tucker and Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Lexington, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your comments on our winter calf class. Congratulations to our Guernsey exhibitors. There were 8 winter calves exhibited. Our winning entry, entry number 17, Cooley Crest Theo Sweetie, exhibited by Haley Tucker and Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Lexington, Kentucky. Second in the class was entry number 20, Red Carpet Torpedo Tokyo, exhibited by Callie Collette and Emma Ricker of Chucky, Tennessee. Third in the class is entry number 2, Fisher Farms Unanimous Trinity, exhibited by Fisher, Knapp, and Potter of Scottsville, Kentucky. Fourth to entry number 16, Red Carpet Milkshake, exhibited by Julia Waddell of Welford, South Carolina. Fifth in the class, to entry number 18, Empire McDreamy Helix, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Sixth in the class, entry number 22, Knapp's Gold Mine Tally, also exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Seventh to entry number 21, Lakeview Farm Torpedo Pearl, exhibited by Leah Jenkins of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And eighth in the class, to entry number 23, Red Carpet D Present, exhibited by Melissa McGuire, Maxton Mannery of Orlando, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Howard is our fall heifer calf class. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans completed his placing in our winter calf class. Second in the class is entry number 21, JSB Acres Kegger Carolyn, exhibited by Carter Brandstetter and Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. Winning the class is entry number 30, View Village Hat Trick Jam Out, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Congratulations. Judge, your comments on our winter calf class.
Well, a lovely group of heifers out here in the winter calf class, but in saying that, there was 3 heifers that came to the top of the class, sorted themselves up with their dairiness and quality, and this first heifer epitomizes that. A heifer who's just so stylish. She comes at you with that high chine, that long neck that you love to see. She's so hard up over that top line, and then you get behind her, she tracks so smoothly out on the move, walking on a beautiful set of feet and legs today. And it is the advantage she has today in her length of both forward and rear rib over our second place heifer. A heifer who's just longer through that midsection, longer through her rump than the heifer we have coming out in second. The second place heifer, I gave her a late bump over the heifer we have out here in third. Heifer is just smoother in blending of parts. I prefer the way she blends in that shoulder into that body wall compared to the heifer we have in third. She's more level from hooks to pins, being a little bit nicer up over that top line and firmer through that loin than our third place heifer. Third over fourth is just on dairy quality for us today. Heifer is so much cleaner down through that bone. Heifer who blends nicer in her parts, part to part, compared to the heifer we have coming out in fourth. The fourth place heifer, kind of a heifer that you really admire some attributes and other attributes you want to change. She's a big, powerful, strong heifer. She's really wide through that back end. Just need to clean her up, give her more femininity and quality, compete with those first three. But it is the advantage she has over the heifer we have coming out in fifth. Just so much more midsection and rib than the heifer we have in fifth today. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the winner of our winter calf class in our Ayrshire breed. Entry number 30, View Village Hat Trick Jam Out, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Second in the class and first Kentucky owned was entry number 21, JSB Acres Kegger Carolyn, exhibited by JSB Acres, Carter Brandstetter, and Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. Third in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 26, Miss Cinderella Cindy Lou, exhibited by Colt and Luke Buckley of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Fourth in the class was entry number 25, Stellar Reynolds Hedgehog, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Fifth to entry number 19, Klein's Wisher's Tabby Twilight, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Sixth in the class, entry number 28, Windcrest King Jaguar, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Seventh to entry number 20, Ms. Kingsire Breezy, exhibited by Mark Jones of Stamping Ground, Kentucky. Eighth in the class, entry number 27, Old Bangston MD Radical, exhibited by Gracie Logsden of Park City, Kentucky. Ninth to entry number 24, Grandview Champ Dominate, exhibited by Aaron Pennington of Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And 10th in the class, entry number 22, Lilybud Jade Alani, exhibited by Lillian Grant Roadcap of Simpsonville, Kentucky. Now in the ring for Judge Evans is our fall calf class. Judge Howard's completed his placing in our fall heifer calf class here in our Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 26, Rockhaven Torpedo Una, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Winning the class and also first Kentucky owned is entry number 27, Lazy JK AP Butterfutter, exhibited by Jesse and Miley Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Howard, your thoughts on our fall calf class?
Congratulations, beautiful heifers in this class.
There were 11 fall calves exhibited in our Guernsey show. Our winner was entry number 27, also first Kentucky owned, Lazy JK AP Butterfutter, exhibited by Jesse Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 26, Rockhaven Torpedo Una, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Third to entry number 15, Rockhaven Torpedo Utopia, exhibited by Leah Jenkins and Sawyer Magnum of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Fourth in the class, entry number 32, Round Pond JCPC Paula, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Fifth to number 29, Lazy JK Missile Butter Babe, exhibited by Hadley and Hudson Spoonamore of Stanford, Kentucky. Sixth in the class, entry number 33, Lazy JK Missile Butter Pecan, exhibited by Kennedy Waddell of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Seventh, entry number 24, Newcomb James Dean Journey, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. Eighth in the class, entry number 34, Cooley Crest Wipeout Shayla, exhibited by Darlene Mosier and Sarah and Renee Bach of Pleasant Lake, Indiana. Ninth to entry number 28, Spring Hill D. Lori Darlin, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. And 10th in the class to entry number 36, Dixley Latimer Jukebox Hero, exhibited by Kim Gardner of Plant City, Florida. Now entering the ring in our Guernsey show is our summer yearling class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our fall calf class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 38, Windcrest Mo Java, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Winning the class and also first Kentucky owned is entry number 32, Ms. Cinderella Wildcard Cincy, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our fall calf class?
Well, a lot of quality in this fall calf class, but in saying that, we have a handy winner with the heifer we have coming out in first. She comes out and just grabs your attention. She's so high chine. She's so firm up over that top line. A heifer who tracks on a beautiful set of feet and legs for us today. And it is their advantage and mobility as she moves around on the outside of the ring. And when she gets standing in line to get her over the heifer we have coming out in second, I prefer the thorough placements. They're more centrally located between the hooks and pins compared to our second place heifer, and just track straighter when viewed from the rear than the heifer we have coming out in second. Second over third, just a little bit longer heifer. You get up in front of her, she's longer through that head and neck. neck. She's more feminine through that head and neck. She's sharper at the point of shoulder, shows us a little bit more expanse to that forerib, a little bit more openness of rib than the heifer we have coming out in third. Third over fourth is just on that rump structure for us today. She's more level from hooks to pins compared to the heifer we have coming out in fourth. Shows us more barrel, more expansion through her midsection than our fourth place heifer, a really dairy feminine type of heifer coming out in fourth. And it is that femininity, that quality, that openness of rib that gets her over the heifer we have coming out in fifth. Just so much more dairiness and snap to her hide. Heifer who just shows us more barrel and flank than the fifth place heifer today.
Congratulations to the winner of our fall calf class in the Ayrshire breed. That's entry number 32, also first Kentucky owned, Ms. Cinderella Wildcard Cincy, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 38, Windcrest Mo Java, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Third in the class, entry number 36, Windcrest Mo Lost Jinx, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Fourth in the class, entry number 39, Ryland's Rider, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Stump, and Hemp of Eminence, Kentucky. Fifth to entry number 37, Moy Air Are Leavin' My Mark, exhibited by Ryland Pike and Carter Brandstetter, JSB Acres of Hardyville, Kentucky. Sixth in the class, entry number 35, Bratcher View AG Mimic, exhibited by Spoonamore and Bratcher of Stanford, Kentucky. Seventh, entry number 42, SML PV Auto Bliss, exhibited by Caleb Lips and Gus Lara of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Eighth in the class, entry number 40, Grand Creek Ringer Brooklyn, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Ninth to entry number 43, Old and Lazy PV Wish Prevail, exhibited by Lauren Hibschman and Aiden Tusing of Syracuse, Indiana. And 10th in the class to entry number 34, Lilybud Jade Lexington, exhibited by Lillian Grant Roadcap of Simpsonville, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show is our summer yearling class. Over in our summer yearling class in the Guernsey show, Judge Howard's completed his placings. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 41, P.R. Kinslow Torpedo Jenga, exhibited by Gracie Logsden and McCoy Kinslow of Park City, Kentucky. Winning the class and also first Kentucky owned is entry number 43, Berryman Farm Jet Valeris, exhibited by Berryman, Morgan, and Tyler of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our summer yearling class? Congratulations to the winner of our summer yearling class in the Guernsey breed. Entry number 43, also first Kentucky owned, Berryman Farm Jet Valeris, exhibited by Berryman, Morgan, and Tyler of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 41, P.R. Kinslow Torpedo Jenga, exhibited by Gracie Logsden and McCoy Kinslow of Park City, Kentucky. Third in the class, entry number 45, Cooley Crest Sparta Catalina, exhibited by Emma Ricker and Callie Collette of Chuckey, Tennessee. Fourth, entry number 38, Colette's Wyatt Cannon Beach, also exhibited by Emma Ricker and Callie Collette of Chuckey, Tennessee. Fifth, entry number 42, Colette's Wyatt Teagan, exhibited by Julia Waddell of Welford, South Carolina. Sixth in the class was number 44, Round Pond JCPC Mini, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. And seventh in the class, to entry number 39, Colette's Wyatt Hayden, exhibited by Kaylee Prather of Taylorsville, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Howard in our Guernsey show is the spring yearling class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placings in the summer yearling class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 45, Windcrest Gentle Justice, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Winning the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 51, Heinemann PV Auto Rewind, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse and Colt and Luke Buckley of Glasgow, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your comments on our summer yearling class.
Well, just a super handy winner coming out today in the summer yearling class. This heifer just grabs your attention with her style and balance all the way through. Heifer for us today is just so much more cleaner than the heifer we have coming out in second. She's harder up over that top line. She's nicer in that chine today. I prefer the rump structure on our first place heifer, showing more width through those thrills and pins than the heifer we have coming out in second. And just preferring the way that tailhead sits down between those pins today. And then second over third, just on her locomotion. A heifer who tracks so much nicer out on the move. Heifer who keeps those thrills more centrally located, showing more spacing between the hock out on the move compared to our heifer in third, while also just being a little bit nicer through that loin today than the big rugged heifer in third today. And it is the dairy quality of our third place heifer. She's just cleaner up through that front end. She's sharper at that point of shoulder. She's more chiseled out over that vertebrae and cleaner down through the thigh than the balanced heifer we have coming out in fourth. The heifer in fourth, maybe one of the better heifers in the class, just carrying far too much condition today to compete. But it is that balance that heifer has. A heifer just shows us a little bit more style for us today. A heifer who's just harder up over a top line than the heifer we have coming out in fifth.
There were 6 summer yearlings exhibited in our Ayrshire show here this morning. Winning the class and first Kentucky owned was entry number 51, Heinemann PV Auto Rewind, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse and Colt and Luke Buckley of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 45, Windcrest Gentle Justice, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Third in the class to entry number 46, Nicodé Miss Pristine Beast, exhibited by Peyton Tao of Scottsville, Kentucky. Fourth in the class to entry number 50, Logsdon Striker Avon, exhibited by Gracie Logsdon and McCoy Kinslow of Park City, Kentucky. Fifth in the class, entry number 48, Baker's Fashion Peach, exhibited by Brantley Baker, Auburn Strange, and Sabra Jackson of Roanoke, Indiana. Sixth in the class, entry number 47, Margot Aloe Vera, exhibited by Sophie Franklin of Waddy, Kentucky. Now in the ring for Judge Evans in our Ayrshire show is our spring yearling class. Over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in our spring yearling class. Second in the class, entry number 53, Knapp's Denzel Bring It On, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. And winning the class, and also first Kentucky owned, is entry number 52, Rockhaven McDreamy Jam, exhibited by Lucas and Lillian Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our spring yearling class? There were 6 spring yearlings in our Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Our winner and first Kentucky owned was entry number 52, Rockhaven McDreamy Jam, exhibited by Lucas and Lillian Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 53, Knapp's Denzel Bring It On, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. Third and second Kentucky owned to entry number 46, Stylecrest Thunder Sheila, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Fourth in the class, entry number 54, Chups AP Uzi, exhibited by Melissa McGuire and Maxton Mannery of Orlando, Kentucky. Fifth in the class, entry number 50, SC Sunnyday McDreamy Norda JJ, exhibited by Julia Waddell of Welford, South Carolina. And sixth, entry number 51, CGF Java Domino P, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Howard is our winter yearling class. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans completed his placing in our spring yearling class. Second in the class, entry number 83, Benter Rushmore Greta, exhibited by Benter Family Farms of Brownstown, Indiana. Winning the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 54, Martin Place, Reynolds, Georgia, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, McCoy Kinslew, and Andrew Carrier of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Evans, your comments on our spring yearling class.
Well, just a handy winner today in our spring yearling class. A heifer comes out at you with so much width and power, and combining that with dariness and style. Heifer, you get up in front of her, she's so wide through that chest floor. She has so much expansion through both fore and rear rib, and then you get behind her, and she carries that width back to her pelvic region for us today. And I feel like today the heifer coming out in second most closely follows that width. You get behind this heifer in second, she's so wide through that rump structure for us today, so wide through that pelvic region. And it is that overall length today to get her over the heifer coming out in third. She's longer through her midsection, longer through her rump, and has that width today to get over the heifer in third. The heifer in third, I do prefer the bone quality on her. She's a little bit nicer down through that hock, a little bit nicer, a little more open through her rib than the heifer we have in second today. And then third over fourth, just on dariness for us. She's cleaner up through that front end. She's longer and leaner about that head and neck. She's sharper at that point of shoulder, showing us more openness and femininity through her rib structure, and being cleaner down through the thigh than the balanced heifer in fourth. And then fourth over fifth, I just prefer the locomotion on her. A heifer today is so much nicer down through that leg structure, nicer in that foot than the heifer we have coming out in fifth.
We had 8 spring yearlings exhibited in our Ayrshire show here this morning. Our winner was entry number 54, also first Kentucky owned, Martin Place, Reynolds, Georgia, exhibited by Colton and Luke Buckley, McCoy Kinslew, and Andrew Carrier of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 83, Benter Rushmore Greta, exhibited by Benter Family Farms of Brownstown, Indiana. Third to entry number 52, SML Klein's Banshees Big Time, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Fourth in the class, entry number 56, Baker's Fashion Ariel, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Fifth in the class and second Kentucky owned to entry number 57, Blackstone G. Wapanucka, exhibited by Tao and Croshaw of Scottsville, Kentucky. Sixth to entry number 61, D.D. Windhill Beast Bestie, exhibited by John Ford of Lebanon, Kentucky. Seventh, entry number 55, Black Aces Snow White, exhibited by Lauren Hibschman and Aidan Tusing of Syracuse, Indiana. And eighth in the class, entry number 59, Ms. Gentle Giggles, exhibited by Leah Largan and Kennedy Loving of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Evans is our winter yearling class in the Ayrshire breed. And over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placings in the winter yearling class. Second in the class is entry number 60, Red Carpet Torpedo Spring, exhibited by M.M. Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Winning the class and also first Kentucky owned is entry number 63, Nabs DR Bragging Rights, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Judge Howard, your thoughts on our winter yearling class? There were 4 winter yearlings exhibited in our Guernsey show. Our winner and first Kentucky owned was entry number 63, Naps DR Bragging Rights, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 60, Red Carpet Torpedo Spring, exhibited by M.M. Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Third in the class and second Kentucky owned to entry number 55, Empire Sherlock Schuyler, exhibited by Kaylee Kuchenauer of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And fourth in the class, turnkey number 58, Warwick Manor Torpedo Senorita, exhibited by M.M. Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Now entering the ring in our Guernsey show is our fall yearling class, our final individual heifer class of the day. Guernsey exhibitors will be moving into our selection of junior champion following this class. If you were first or second today in a Guernsey heifer class, we need those animals at ringside. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our winter yearling class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 67, Bricker Farms King Cadence, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Winning the class and also first Kentucky owned is entry number 63, Lywood Air Reynolds Glamour, exhibited by Emily Good of Liberty, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our winter yearling class?
Well, probably the closest placing for me today that I've had in the top two between these first two. We're going to give the advantage to the heifer coming out in first on her balance. She's more proper in her rib structure, showing more depth of heart, more expanse to that midsection. Heifer shows more rear rib than the heifer we have coming out here in second, while also just being cleaner and more feminine down through her hock and bone and through her rump structure and being more level up over that top line when they get standing in line compared to the heifer in second. But I would certainly give the advantage to the heifer in second. A lot more length up through that front end, length through that head and neck, length through that midsection and rump than our first place heifer. And it is the overall style and balance and the way she moves around the outside of the ring that gets our second place heifer over the heifer we have coming out in third. I prefer the foot on this second place heifer. She stands up nicer on her heel. Heifer is stronger in her pastern than our third place heifer. Also just showing us more length from end to end today. Third over fourth is just on dairy quality. She's more feminine through that front end. She's sharper at that point of shoulder, showing us more openness and dairiness through that rib structure than our fourth place heifer. And then fourth over the fifth place heifer, who's due here right along, just firmer up over that top line, nicer in that loin, nicer in that chine than the dairy heifer in fifth. Congratulations.
If you turn your attention over to our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in his fall yearling class. Second in the class is entry number 71, Red Carpet My Too Late, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. And winning the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 68, Rockhaven DJ Momentum, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our fall yearling class? And if we'll turn our attention back to the Ayrshire ring, a solo entry here in our fall yearling class. Our winner and first Kentucky owned is entry number 70, Emerald Farms Sweetest Jamie, exhibited by Hatfield Chambers and Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Evans, your thoughts on our fall yearling?
Just one out, fall yearling out here in our Ayrshire show, but a heifer you certainly admire for the way she moves around the outside of the ring. Heifer who tracks on a beautiful set of feet and legs today. Congratulations.
Once again, our fall yearling winner, Emerald Farms Sweetest Jamie, entry number 70, exhibited by Hatfield Chambers and Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. We'll catch up in our book with our winter yearlings in the Ayrshire breed. There were 5 winter yearlings exhibited. Our winner and first Kentucky owned was entry number 63, Lywood Air Reynolds Glamour, exhibited by J.G. Springs Dairy, Emily Good of Liberty, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 67, Bricker Farms King Cadence, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Third in the class, entry number 68, Bujon Vale Auto Kerosene, exhibited by Brocker Bodarov of Seymour, Indiana. Fourth in the class, entry number 64, Stellar Ringer Zoom, exhibited by John Ford of Lebanon, Kentucky. And fifth to entry number 66, Stellar Dynamic Zendaya, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show are those animals that were first or second in their classes this morning, competing for junior champion female. Also in the Guernsey ring, We'll catch up on our catalog in the fall yearling class where we had four fall yearlings exhibited. Our winner and first Kentucky owned was entry number 68, Rockhaven DJ Momentum, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 71, Red Carpet My Too Late, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. Third in the class and second Kentucky owned to entry number 70, Round Pond JCPC Lillian, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman and Alex Oliver of Summershade, Kentucky. And fourth in the class to entry number 67, RHG Torpedo Viola, exhibited by Kim Gardner of Plant City, Florida. Now also in our Guernsey ring, we are also seeing our first and second place heifers from this morning's show competing for junior champion. At this time, we'd like to reintroduce you to those animals and exhibitors that were first or second in our Guernsey show here this morning. There were 12 spring heifer calves. Our winner was entry number 8, Kentucky Blue Torpedo Referee, exhibited by Gibson and Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class was entry number 4, Knapp's Rocket Tonight, exhibited by Colt and Luke Buckley, Carrier and Hayes of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. There were 8 winter calves. Our winner was entry number 17, Cooley Crest Theo Sweetie, exhibited by Haley Tucker and Lillian and Lucas Hayes, Lexington, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 20, Red Carpet Torpedo Tokyo, exhibited by Callie Collette and Emma Ricker of Chuckey, Tennessee. There were 11 fall calves exhibited. Our winner was entry number 27, Lazy JKAP Butterfutter, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 26, Rockhaven Torpedo Una, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. There were 7 summer yearlings. Our winner was entry number 43, Berryman Farm Jet Valeris, exhibited by Berryman, Morgan, and Tyler of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 41, PR Kinslow Torpedo Jenga, exhibited by Gracie Logsden and McCoy Kinslow of Park City, Kentucky. There were 6 spring yearlings. Our class winner was entry 52, Rockhaven McDreamy Jam, exhibited by Lucas and Lillian Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. And second in the class, entry number 53, Knapp's Denzel Bring It On, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. There were 4 winter yearlings. Our class winner was entry number 63, Knapp's DR Bragging Rights, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. And second in the class, entry number 60, Red Carpet Torpedo Spring, exhibited by M.M. Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. And there were 4 fall yearlings. Our class winner was entry 68, Rockhaven DJ Momentum, exhibited by Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. And second in the class, entry number 71, Red Carpet My Too Late, exhibited by Bryce Klein of Milton, Indiana. There were 52 Guernsey heifers exhibited today for Judge Jamie Howard, and we're on our way to selecting our junior champion of the show. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, once again, we certainly want to reintroduce you to those heifers and exhibitors that were first or second in our heifer classes here today in the Ayrshire show. There were 10 spring calves exhibited. Our winner was entry number 14, SNK Margaritaville, exhibited by JSB Acres of Hardyville, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 13, Old and Lazy Auto Win, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics of Hardyville, Kentucky. There were 11 winter calves. Our class winner was entry number 30, View Village Hat Trick Jam Out, exhibited by Brantley Baker of Roanoke, Indiana. Second in the class, entry number 21, JSB Acres Kegger Carolyn, exhibited by JSB Acres of Hardyville, Kentucky. We had 10 fall calves exhibited. Our class winner was entry number 32, Ms. Cinderella Wildcard Cincy, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 38, Windcrest Mo Java, exhibited by Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. There were 6 summer yearlings. Winning the class was entry number 51, Heinemann PV Auto Rewind, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse and Colton Luke Buckley of Glasgow, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 45, Windcrest Gentle Justice, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. There were 8 spring yearlings. Our class winner was entry number 54, Martin Place, Reynolds, Georgia, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, McCoy Kinslow, and Andrew Carrier of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 83, Benter Rushmore Greta, exhibited by Benter Family Farms of Brownstown, Indiana. There were 5 winter yearlings. Our class winner was entry number 63, Lywood Air Reynolds Glamour, exhibited by J.G. Springs Dairy of Liberty, Kentucky. And second in the class, entry number 67, Bricker Farms King Cadence, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Comar of Glasgow, Kentucky. And we had 1 fall yearling. Our class winner was entry number 70, Emerald Farms Sweetest Jamie, exhibited by Hatfield Chambers and Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. There were 51 Ayrshire heifers paraded in front of Judge Greg Evans. Now we'll wait his selection of junior champion of our show. And at this time, Judge Howard over in our Guernsey ring has taken the microphone, a pretty good sign that he has finished his deliberations. He's pulled out a beautiful group of heifers here in his final lineup for selection of junior champion. Jamie, when you're ready, your thoughts and selection of junior champion of the 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey Show. Congratulations to the junior champion of the 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey Show. She's our winning fall calf, entry number 27, Lazy JKAP Butterfutter, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Our reserve junior champion was our winning spring calf, entry number 8, Kentucky Blue Torpedo Referee, exhibited by Gibson and Osterretter of Eminence, Kentucky. And our honorable mention junior champion was our second place spring calf, entry number 4, Naps Rocket Tonight, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, Carrier and Hayes of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now if we turn over to our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has pulled out, I believe, 6 of his own heifers to look at here in the Ayrshire show, another high quality heifer show. Our judges claim the microphone. So, Greg, when you're ready, your thoughts and your selection of junior champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire show.
Well, thank you. It's been a beautiful heifer show all the way down the line. And we sent heifers to the rail that I've been to a few shows so far this year, and there's heifers standing over there that will compete, and even heifers that weren't out in contention for junior champion. But in saying that, we pulled out 6 heifers that I think epitomize what I'm looking for. Heifers who have dairy strength, heifers who are hard topped, great rump, tracking out on beautiful sets of feet and legs. Pulled out our first place March calf, a heifer who's just so pretty through that front end, so level up over that top line, tracking out a beautiful set of feet and legs. Our first place winter calf, a heifer who just exudes dairiness. This heifer's so flinty down through her bone. She's so sharp, she's so angular, such a long, pretty neck on her. Our first place fall calf, a heifer so extreme in her balance, a heifer who you love how hard top she is. You love the feet and legs that she possesses and a great rump structure to go with it. Our first place spring yearling, a heifer who's just so strong through that front end. You love the width through that chest floor, how hard top she is, the big run she has to that front end, combining it with a great rump structure. And then our first and second place winter yearlings, 2 heifers that I really admired in class. It was a close placing, and 2 heifers who have that same strength that you love to see, heifers who track on beautiful feet and legs. I'm going to go out and select your junior and reserve and honorable mention in that order. And let's give all the exhibitors today in the Ayrshire show a big round of applause. They really deserve it. It's been just tremendous quality. This fall calf is just so balanced out on the move. You see her walk, and she walks on the best set of feet and legs we have out here today. Heifer who's so hard top, so firm up over that top line, and combines that with just tremendous strength. You get up in front of her, and she's so wide through that front end for us today, and carries that width back to her pelvic region, and just tracking on a beautiful set of feet and legs today. I'm going to give her the advantage over our first place March calf. Just a little bit more length through that front end. I prefer the way she blends through that chine compared to our March calf. Taking nothing away from this March calf, I think this heifer has a chance to do some big things this fall. And we're going to give the advantage to her over our yearling. Just being a little bit longer and leaner up through that head and neck. A heifer who's just more level from hooks to pins compared to our spring yearling. And just tracking a little bit nicer out on the move. Taking nothing away from this spring yearling. A heifer you just really love the width and power and strength. Has all the parts to be a tremendous cow into the future. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the junior champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire show. She's our winning fall calf. Entry number 32, Ms. Cinderella Wildcard Cincy, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Komar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Our reserve junior champion was our winning spring heifer calf, entry number 14, SNK Margaritaville, exhibited by JSB Acres, Carter Brandstetter and Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. And our honorable mention junior champion was our winning spring yearling, entry number 54, Martin Place, Reynolds, Georgia, exhibited by Colton Luke Buckley, McCoy Kinslow, and Andrew Carrier of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. We'll turn our attention back over to the Guernsey show ring. Judge Howard's completed his placing in our junior best three females group class. Second in the class to entry number 74, Styled Cresteri of Edmonton, Kentucky. And winning the class is the group from Lillian and Lucas Hayes of Broadhead, Kentucky. Judge, your thoughts on our group class? Now over in our Guernsey show ring, we'll be moving right into our milking cow classes. And these are the junior 2-year-olds coming in front of Judge Jamie Howard. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, we'll be bringing in our group class, our junior best three females class for Judge Evans. Following that, we'll also move straight into our milking classes in our Ayrshire show, starting with our milking yearling class, followed by our junior 2-year-olds. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evan has completed his placings in our junior best three females class. Second place to Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and winning the class is entry number 76, our group from Baker's family in Roanoke, Indiana. Congratulations, Judge.
Well, two really lovely groups out here for junior best three, but we're going to give the advantage to this first place group. They're just more uniform in their makeup. They're harder up over their top lines for us today. They're a little bit nicer out on the move tracking as a group compared to the one we have coming out in second. Taking nothing away from the second place group, I do prefer the width that this group has compared to our group coming out in first.
Once again, congratulations to Bakers from Roanoke, Indiana, winning the junior best three class in the Ayrshire show, and second to Stellar Genetics of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show, we're going to start our milking classes. I believe our first entry to the ring will be our milking yearling. And in our Ayrshire show ring, our solo entry in our milking yearling class, our winner and first Kentucky owned is entry number 78, Lazy M Wish Away, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Komar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Judge, your comments on our milking yearling.
Well, just one entry out here for the milking yearling class, but certainly a quality individual. You love the bone structure on this heifer. She's long necked. She's open through that rib. She's clean down through that hock and wearing a lovely mammary system less than a month fresh. You love the uniformity and width top to bottom to that rear udder. Congratulations.
Congratulations again to our winning milking yearling in the Ayrshire show, entry number 78, Lazy M Wish Away, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Komar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Evans in our Ayrshire show is our junior 2-year-old class. Over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in our junior 2-year-old class. Second in the class is entry number 81, Hidden Lane Tsunami Press, exhibited by Callie Collette, Emma Rickler, and Peyton Tao of Chuckey, Tennessee. Winning the class is entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our junior 2-year-olds?
Really nice class of junior 2-year-olds. We have summer junior 2-year-olds and we have spring junior 2-year-olds in here. It's a wise decision to keep them all together. Leading the class out with the heifer.
There were 6 junior 2-year-olds exhibited here this morning. Our class winner was entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Second in the class, entry number 81, Hidden Lane Tsunami Press, exhibited by Callie Collette, Emma Ricker, and Peyton Tao of Chuckey, Tennessee. Third and first Kentucky owned to entry number 65, Uno's API Uncover, exhibited by Jesse and Kylie Muse of Glasgow, Kentucky. Fourth in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 78, CGF Torpedo Duchess, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Fifth, entry number 85, Naps Drone Treat, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. And sixth in the class, entry number 83, Sunny Knoll Design Saffron, exhibited by Kim Gardner of Plant City, Florida. Now entering the ring in our Guernsey show is our senior 2-year-old class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placings in our junior 2-year-old class. Second in the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 84, Blackstone RMG SW Wetzel, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics, Ryland Pike of Hardyville, Kentucky. And winning the class is entry number 99, Klein's Ringer Cookie Dough, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Congratulations. Judge, your comments on our junior 2-year-olds.
Well, just a handy winner today in our junior 2-year-old class, a cow who combines that dairy strength, locomotion, and just a beautiful mammary system. We're going to give her the advantage over the cow in second. Shows us more proper turn to the top of that rear udder force today. I prefer the way that forwarder blends into the body wall and just moves around the ring with so much more grace and elegance than the second place cow. She shows more flexion to that hock. She's a little bit nicer down through the foot than our second place cow. Also just showing us more expansion through that midsection and frame than the cow in second. The cow in second recently fresh, a really dairy feminine type of cow, and it is that quality and that milky look that gets her over our cow in third. She's the cow that's longer and leaner up through that front end for us today. You get behind her, she's cleaner down through that bone and hock. I prefer the foot structure on our second place cow over our cow in third. Also showing us more popped and veination throughout that mammary system than the third place cow. I would grant the third place cow is just a little bit nicer through that fore udder today, but just lacks that dairiness to get up over our cow in second. But it is the being in milk today and the dairiness that gets her over our animal coming out in fourth. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the winner of our junior 2-year-old class in the Ayrshire breed, entry number 99, Klein's Ringer Cookie Dough, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Second in the class and first Kentucky owned to entry number 84, Blackstone RMG SW Wetzel, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics of Hardyville, Kentucky. Third in the class, to entry number 81, Klein's Players Rose, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. And fourth in the class, to entry number 82, Lilybud Jade Star, exhibited by Chelsea Watts of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show is our senior 2-year-old class. And over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in our senior 2-year-old class. Second in the class to entry number 87, Naps RC Torpedo Bala, exhibited by Hobbs Lutz of Chester, South Carolina. And winning the class, and also first Kentucky owned, is entry number 90, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Howard, your thoughts on our senior 2-year-olds? There were 5 senior 2-year-olds exhibited in our Guernsey show this morning. Our winner and first Kentucky owned was entry number 90, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 87, Knapp's RC Torpedo Bala, exhibited by Hobbs Lutz of Chester, South Carolina. Third in the class and second Kentucky owned to entry number 92, Gladheart JD Skittles, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Harkenrider, and Yoakum of Eminence, Kentucky. Fourth in the class to entry number 88, KCCK Hartman Lexus Classy, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. And fifth in the class to entry number 89, Style Crest Colonel Cheyenne, exhibited by Style Crest of Edmonton, Kentucky. Now entering the ring for Judge Howard. Completing the placing is our solo entry in our junior 3-year-old class, entry 96, BHG JS Maui, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Judge Howard, your thoughts on our junior 3-year-old?
Only one junior 3-year-old. I told the young man leading, I said, they're winning, and I've got one right today. So nobody can really argue.
Once again, congratulations to the winner of our junior 3-year-old class in the Guernsey breed, BHG JS Maui, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman. Now entering the ring in the Guernsey show is our senior 3-year-old. And another solo entry in our Guernsey show in our senior 3-year-old class. Judge Howard has completed his placing with our winning animal, entry number 100, G.R. Hickman Valley's TB Kahuna, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Jamie? Congratulations again to our winning senior 3-year-old in our Guernsey show, entry number 100, G.R. Hickman Valley's TB Kahuna, exhibited by Colton and Kate Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. At this time, we'll move into our selection of intermediate champion of our Guernsey show. These are the cows that were first or second in our younger cow classes here this morning. As our Guernsey cows are coming into the ring to compete for intermediate champion, we'd certainly like to introduce those to you again. Our first place junior 2-year-old was entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. Second in the class was entry number 81, Hidden Lane Tsunami Press, exhibited by Callie Collette, Emma Ricker, and Peyton Tao of Chuckey, Tennessee. There were 5 senior two-year-olds exhibited. Our winner was entry number 90, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Osterreiter of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 87, Naps RC Torpedo Bala, exhibited by Hobbs Lutz of Chester, South Carolina. Our winning junior 3-year-old was entry number 96, BHGJS Maui, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summer Shade, Kentucky. And our winning senior 3-year-old was entry number 100, GR Hickman Valley's TB Kahuna, also exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summer Shade, Kentucky. These are the young cows that are competing for the title of intermediate champion in our Guernsey show. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placings in our senior 2-year-old cow class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 92, Top Glen Wishful Drinking, exhibited by Gibson and Muse of Eminence, Kentucky. And winning the class is entry number 93, also first Kentucky owned, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Kinslow of Smiths Grove, Kentucky. That's Lazy M, Strike Me Sold. Congratulations, Judge Evans. Our comments on our senior 2-year-olds.
Well, lovely group of senior 2-year-olds, but certainly a handy winner coming out with our first place cow. She wears the best udder today, and a cow combines that beautiful mammary system with a really dairy open frame. We're going to give her the advantage of her second place cow. She fills through the corners of that rear udder so much nicer for us today. Is wider through that rear udder top to bottom. A cow I prefer the teat placement on at the bottom of that udder floor. Also showing us a little bit more expansion through that midsection and rib than our second place cow. Second over third is just on dairy quality. She's a more milky looking cow. Being longer and leaner up through that head and neck, longer through that midsection and rump. A cow just shows us more flexion down through that hock, showing us more quality and snap to that udder today. A little more veination throughout that udder than the really beautiful rear udder cow we have coming out in third. Third over fourth, it is on that rear udder, shows us more quality through it today. A cow who's just wider top to bottom, shows us more balance left to right in her quartering compared to the cow we have coming out in fourth. Also just showing us more blooming capacity today than the cow coming out in fourth. The fourth place cow is certainly a dairy, beautiful individual in her own right. We're going to give the advantage of the cow over in fifth just on the bloom to that udder, showing us a little bit more quality to that rib structure today than the really dairy cow in fifth. Congratulations.
There were 5 senior 2-year-olds exhibited today for Judge Evans. Our class winner was entry number 93, Lazy M, Strike Me Sold, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Kinslow of Smiths Grove, Kentucky. She was our first Kentucky owned in the class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 92, Top Glen Wishful Drinking, exhibited by Gibson and Muse of Eminence, Kentucky. Third in the class, entry number 88, Klein's Dee Dee's Dream, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Fourth, entry number 89, Cozy Country Pretty Little Liar, exhibited by JSB Acres of Hardyville, Kentucky. And fifth in the class, entry number 86, Broofy Air Kent Piper, exhibited by Alyssa Chambers of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Now in the ring in our Ayrshire show is our junior 3-year-old cow class. And over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard has his lineup of young cows here competing for the title of intermediate champion. Looks like he's taken hold of the microphone. So Jamie, your thoughts and your selection of intermediate champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Congratulations to the intermediate champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey Show. Our intermediate champion was our winning senior 2-year-old, entry number 90, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Ostrider of Eminence, Kentucky. Our reserve intermediate champion was our winning junior 2-year-old, entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. And our honorable mention intermediate champion was our second place senior 2-year-old, entry number 87, Naps RC Torpedo Bala, exhibited by Hobbs Lutz of Chester, South Carolina. Congratulations. Turning to the Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our junior 3-year-old class with our solo entry. Our winner in the class is entry number 97, DD Windhill Reynolds Braley, exhibited by John Ford of Lebanon, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge?
Just one entry today in our junior 3-year-old class, a cow you really admire for her frame. She's so hard topped, a cow you love the rump structure on and walking on a beautiful set of feet and legs today. I would like to see her a little bit more in bloom and get a little more pop to that udder.
Once again, congratulations to our winning junior 3-year-old in the Ayrshire show, DD Windhill Reynolds Braley, entry number 97, exhibited by John Ford of Lebanon, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show is our senior 3-year-old class. And over in our Guernsey show ring, judges just completed his selection for our Kentucky-owned intermediate champion and reserve intermediate champion. Congratulations to our winning senior 2-year-old, entry number 90. She'll be our intermediate champion, Kentucky-owned, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Ostrider of Eminence, Kentucky. And our reserve intermediate champion of our Kentucky-owned competition will be our winning senior 3-year-old, entry 100, GR Hickman Valley's TB Kahuna, exhibited by Colton and Kate Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Congratulations. Following just a couple photos here in our Guernsey show ring, entering into the ring at that time for Judge Howard will be our 4-year-old cow class. It goes. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placings in our senior 3-year-old class. Second in the class, and second Kentucky-owned, is entry number 100, Spring Run Blue Boy Charming, exhibited by Caleb Lips and Gus Lara of Shelbyville, Kentucky. And winning the class, she's first Kentucky-owned and also wins the production award, is entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge Evans, your thoughts on our senior 3-year-olds?
Well, just a handy winner today in our senior 3-year-old class. A cow who comes out with so much balance. You love the uphill run on this cow, the great rump structure, the way she tracks around the outside of the ring, and she pairs that with just a beautiful mammary system. She's got that quality to it, the venation throughout it, the way she fills so nicely to the top of the rear udder. We're going to give her the advantage over the cow coming out in second on just that overall frame and the way she moves around the ring, just being a little bit more balanced in her quartering left to right compared to our second place cow, filling up so much nicer, especially on that left side of her udder, and just tracking around the ring so much more comfortably, especially down on that heel and pastern compared to our second place cow. Second over third, just being more in bloom today. Our third place cows do here right along, but our second place cow just follows that first place cow so much nicer today.
Congratulations to the winner of our senior 3-year-old class in the Ayrshire breed. She's also first Kentucky owned and won the production award, entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned was entry number 100, Spring Run Blue Boy Charming, exhibited by Caleb Lips and Gus Lara of Shelbyville, Kentucky. And third in the class, entry number 101, Smither Appletini Meany, exhibited by Kayla Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. Now entering the show ring in the Ayrshire breed will be those cows that were first or second in their classes this morning, competing for the title of Intermediate Champion Female. And over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's completed his placing in our 4-year-old cow class. Second in the class and second Kentucky owned is entry number 103. Fisher's JCP Prestige, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. And winning the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 118, Spring Hill JD Jubilee, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Judge, your thoughts on our pair of 4-year-olds? Congratulations once again to the winner of our 4-year-old cow class, entry 118, Spring Hill JD Jubilee, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry 103, Fisher's JCP Prestige, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Now entering the ring is our 5-year-old class in the Guernsey show ring. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, we certainly want to introduce you to those cows and exhibitors competing for the title of Intermediate Champion. As we said, they were all first or second in our young cow classes here this morning. The winner of our Milking Yearling class was entry number 78, Lazy M Wish Away, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Komar of Glasgow, Kentucky. There were 4 junior 2-year-olds exhibited. Our winner was entry number 99, Klein's Ringer Cookie Dough, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Second in the class was entry number 84, Blackstone RMG SW Wetzel, exhibited by Smoke Show Genetics of Hardyville, Kentucky. There were 5 senior 2-year-olds. Our class winner was entry number 93, Lazy M Strike Me Sold, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Winslow of Smiths Grove, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 92, exhibit 92, Top Glen Wishful Drinking, exhibited by Gibson and Muse of Eminence, Kentucky. Our winning junior 3-year-old was entry number 97, D.D. Windhill Reynolds Braley, exhibited by John Ford of Lebanon, Kentucky. In our senior, there were 3 senior 3-year-olds. Our class winner was entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 100, Spring Run Blue Boy Charming, exhibited by Caleb Lips and Gus Lara of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Congratulations to all of our Ayrshire exhibitors. And over in our Guernsey show ring, judges completed his placing in our 5-year-old class with our solo entry, number 110, Stylecrest Mentor Swan, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Jamie, your thoughts on our 5-year-old cow? Congratulations again to our winning 5-year-old in the Guernsey Ring, entry 110, Stylecrest Mentor Swan, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Guernsey show is our age cow class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has pulled out his final 3 in contention for intermediate champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire show. Greg, your thoughts and your selection of our intermediate champion?
I pulled out 3 today for contention for intermediate champion. Our first place junior 2-year-old, a summer junior 2-year-old, a cow you love the angle and drape to her rib, a cow who wears a beautiful mammary system and tracks out on a lovely set of feet and legs today. Our first place senior 2-year-old, a cow that's just so balanced in her makeup, wide from front to back, a cow who wears a beautiful mammary system in her own right. And then our first place senior 3-year-old, a cow who's so massive in her frame. You love the uphill run that she has, the width through that rump structure, and coupled with a beautiful mammary system in her own right. I'll go out and select your intermediate reserve and honorable mention. Let's give all these Ayrshire exhibitors a big round of applause. It's been a great young Ayrshire show. It's really close for me today for intermediate champion, but we're going to give the advantage to the senior 3-year-old on her dairy quality. When you see her out on the move, she's just a little bit freer, fresh, a little bit nicer in her hide than our first place senior 2-year-old. I prefer the way that tail head sits down in between her pins today compared to this senior 2-year-old, but give the senior 2-year-old some more time, and I think she give the senior 3-year-old a pretty good run for her money. We're going to give the advantage to the senior 3 over our summer junior 2. Just so much nicer in her locomotion. I prefer the way those thrills sit in between the hooks and pins. A cow who just tracks out nicer on her rear legs and just a little bit more balance on that forerunner than our first place junior 2-year-old. Taking nothing away from this junior 2-year-old, the cow I think's got a bright future ahead of her. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the intermediate champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire show, our winning senior 3-year-old, entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Our reserve intermediate champion is our winning senior 2-year-old, entry number 93, Lazy M Strike Me Sold, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Kinslow of Smithsgrove, Kentucky. And our honorable mention intermediate champion was our winning junior 2-year-old, entry number 99, Klein's Ringer Cookie Dough, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Congratulations. Turn our attention over to the Guernsey Show Ring, where Judge Howard's completed his placing in our age cow class with our solo entry. Our winner is entry number 113, Style Crest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Style Crest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Jamie, your thoughts on our age cow? Congratulations once again to our winning age cow and our milk production cow of the show. Entry 113, Style Crest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Style Crest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. And at this time, over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard will be evaluating those cows that were first or second in our older cow classes to pick his senior champion. We'd like to reintroduce those cows that are in contention for senior champion over in our Guernsey show ring. Our winning 4-year-old cow was entry number 118, Spring Hill JD Jubilee, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Second in that class was entry number 103, Fisher's JCP Prestige, exhibited by Colton and Cade Huffman of Summershade, Kentucky. Our winning 5-year-old cow was entry number 110, Stylecrest Mentor Swan, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. And our winning age cow was entry number 113, Stylecrest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now in our Ayrshire show ring, entering the class will be our 4-year-old cows. At this time, Judge Howard over in our Guernsey show ring has his 4 contenders lined up for senior champion. Judge, your selection of senior champion of our Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Congratulations to the senior champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. She's our winning age cow, entry number 113, Stylecrest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Our reserve senior champion is our winning 4-year-old, entry number 118, Spring Hill JD Jubilee, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. And our honorable mention senior champion is our winning 5-year-old, entry number 110, Stylecrest Mentor Swan, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now we'll bring our other 2 sets of champions in to compete for grand champion of our Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our 4-year-old cow class. Second in the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 98, Stellar Dutton Birdie, exhibited by Ava Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. And winning the class is entry number 107, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Congratulations. Judge Evans, your thoughts on our pair of 4-year-olds?
Well, what a lovely dairy cow we have coming out here. And first, a cow who exudes quality and dairiness. And then she couples that with just a beautiful mammary system, a logical winner today. She just has so much more blooming capacity than our second place cow, a cow who's due here right along. Congratulations.
Congratulations again to the winner of our 4-year-old cow class, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. And second in our 4-year-old class in the Ayrshire ring is entry number 98, Stellar Dutton Birdie, exhibited by Ava Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Now in the Ayrshire ring, we'll be bringing in our 5-year-old class. And over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard's making his selection for a grand champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. We certainly want to recognize one more time those cows competing for a grand champion of our show. Our intermediate champion was entry number 90. She was our winning senior 2-year-old, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Ostrader of Eminence, Kentucky. And our reserve intermediate champion was our winning junior 2-year-old, entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. And of course, our just recently named senior champions. Our senior champion was our winning age cow, entry number 113, Style Crest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Style Crest Dairy of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And our reserve senior champion was our winning 4-year-old, entry number 118, Spring Hill JD Jubilee, exhibited by Hunter and Tyler Smith of Nicholasville, Kentucky. These are the 4 cows out here. They're the final one standing for the selection of grand champion of the 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey show. Judge Jamie Howard, your thoughts and selection of grand champion.
Thanks again.
Congratulations to the grand champion of the 2026 Kentucky State Fair Guernsey Show. She was our winning senior 2-year-old, our intermediate champion, and now our grand champion. Entry number 90, Uno's JD Umpire, exhibited by Gibson and Ostrider of Eminence, Kentucky. Our reserve grand champion was our reserve intermediate champion and winning junior 2-year-old, entry number 76, MMD Attitude, exhibited by MM Guernseys of Milan, Indiana. And our honorable mention grand champion was our senior champion, our winning age cow, entry number 113, Stylecrest Mentor Chandler, exhibited by Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Congratulations. They'll take some pictures and then we'll be moving into our group classes over in the Guernsey show ring. In the Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our 5-year-old cow class. Second in the class and first Kentucky owned is entry number 112, Lily Bud Hot Rod Noel, exhibited by Kayla Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. And winning the class is entry number 110, Klein's Waterloo Wendy, exhibited by Milk and Duds Farm of Daleville, Indiana. Judge, your thoughts on our pair of 5-year-old Ayrshire cows?
Well, just a logical place today in our 5-year-old class. The cow who comes out in first does so on our overall strength and bloom. A cow that's just so much wider through that front end, shows more length to her rib. Then you get behind her and you just prefer the attachments to the mammary system and the bloom to the udder today.
Once again, congratulations to, in the Ayrshire ring, to our winning 5-year-old cow, entry number 110, Klein's Waterloo Wendy, exhibited by Milk and Duds Farm of Daleville, Indiana. Second in our 5-year-old class was entry number 112, Lilybud Hot Rod Noel, exhibited by Kayla Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show is our age cow class. Yep, and a reminder for our grand champion and reserve grand champions, you'll be getting a milk sampling card. Please take your cow and this card to the examination area as soon as possible. The entries shown in a championship, showmanship, or group class may wait until after those classes. Please do not remove your teat sealant. Removal of any milk prior to testing will result in automatic disqualification. Of course, the Kentucky State Fair is run at the very highest standards. Will also need an EID or registration paper with your animal at the testing site. Once again, if you are grand or reserve of a dairy show today here, we need to take your milk testing card along with an EID or registration paper over to the examination area as soon as possible to maintain your qualification as champion. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has completed his placing in our age cow class. Second in the class is entry number 114, Twin View Jamaican Jama, exhibited by Xavier Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. Winning the class is entry number 103, Klein's Double Whammy Delight, exhibited by Hannah Hatfield of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Congratulations. Judge, your thoughts on our pair of age cows?
Well, a pair of age cows out here today. Both cows have tremendous strength all the way through. But we're going to give the advantage to the first place cow on our mammary system. She's more in bloom today. She's more balanced in her quartering left to right, showing better attachments both fore and rear than the cow we have coming out in second. Well, it's just showing us a little bit more show ring style today.
Once again, congratulations to our winning age cow on the Ayrshire show, entry number 103, Klein's Double Whammy Delight, exhibited by Hannah Hatfield of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 114, Twin View Jamaican Jama, exhibited by Xavier Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. Now entering the ring in our Ayrshire show are those cows competing for senior champion female of the show. Over in our Guernsey show ring, we've got our solo entry and our winner in our exhibitors herd. Congratulations to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. They're our winning exhibitors herd. And we'll turn the mic over to Judge Jamie Howard for his comments on our winning exhibitors herd. Congratulations once again to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky on their winning exhibitor herd. Now entering the ring in our Guernsey show should be our senior best 3 females class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, we are showing those animals competing for senior champion female of the show. These are the cows that were first or second in our older cow classes here today. In our 4-year-old cow class, our winner was entry number 107, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Second in the class, entry number 98, Stellar Dutton Birdie, exhibited by Ava Ridings of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. In our 5-year-old cow class, our winner was entry number 110, Klein's Waterloo Wendy, exhibited by Melkendud's Farm of Daleville, Indiana. Second in the class, entry number 112, Lily Bud Hot Rod Noel, exhibited by Kalia Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. And in our age cow class, our winner was entry number 103, Klein's Double Whammy Delight, exhibited by Hannah Hatfield of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Second in the class, entry number 114, Twinview Jamaican Jama, exhibited by Xavier Clark of Lebanon, Kentucky. Congratulations to all of our Ayrshire exhibitors. These are the cows competing for senior champion female of the show. Back to our Guernsey show ring. Solo entry in our senior best 3 females class. Congratulations to our winner, Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Jamie, your thoughts on our best 3 females?
Well, my thoughts are very similar to when for Greek.
Congratulations once again to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky, the winner of our senior best 3 females class. Now entering the ring should be our Produce of Dam class. And over in our Ayrshire show ring, Judge Evans has the microphone. He's got his group of older cows, more mature cows lined up here for his selection of senior champion. Judge Evans?
We have 6 animals out here for contention for senior champion, but there's one cow that stands above the rest. Our senior champion is going to be that first place 4-year-old. When she comes out here, she does so with so much dairyness and quality, and she couples that with just a beautiful mammary system. And the cow that follows her most logically will be our first place 5-year-old, another cow who's in bloom and milking today. She'll be your reserve senior champion, a cow you really admire the strength on, the power that this cow has, the bloom and pop to her udder. And then for honorable mention, we'll go with our first place age cow, another cow who's in milk, who shows the balance in her quartering left to right, a really strong dairy cow who shows more show ring style than her other 3. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the senior champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire show. She's our winning 4-year-old, entry number 107, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Our reserve senior champion is our winning 5-year-old cow, entry number 110, Klein's Waterloo Wendy, exhibited by Melkendud's Farm of Daleville, Indiana. And our honorable mention senior champion is our winning age cow, entry number 103, Klein's Double Whammy Delight, exhibited by Hannah Hatfield of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. Congratulations. Over in our Guernsey show ring, Judge Howard has a solo entry in our Produce of Dam class. Winning the class is entry number 31. Oh, excuse me. The entry from Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Jamie, your thoughts on our Produce of Dam class?
Two really nice animals, a heifer and a young cow. That you can see the similarities in through their frame. Their rump structure is very much spot on and very correct. And the length of frame of these two Guernsey the heifer and the cow are really emblematic of what came from their dam. So congratulations to the solo entry.
Now over in our Guernsey show ring, we'll be moving into what I believe is our final class of the day, our Dam and Daughter class. We'd like to announce our premier breeder and a premier exhibitor of the show over in our Guernsey show. Our premier breeder of the show, congratulations to Colton and Cade Huffman of Summer Shade, Kentucky. And our premier exhibitor, congratulations to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Backwards. Sorry, let me reverse that. Correct what I just said. Premier breeder of the show, of our Guernsey show, is Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. And premier exhibitor is Colton and Cade Huffman of Summer Shade. I apologize. Banners everywhere, but again, premier breeder to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton and premier exhibitor to Colton and Cade Huffman of Summer Shade, Kentucky. I believe we have a solo entry here in our Dam and Daughter class. Once again, congratulations to Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Judge Jamie Howard, thank you for your efficient work and high quality expertise judging our Guernsey show. Your thoughts on our final class, our Dam and Daughter?
Hands of these two calves, but now this daughter of the first place entry.
Congratulations. Apologies. There were two entries in our class, both from Stylecrest Dairy of Edmonton, Kentucky. Congratulations. At this time, over in our Ayrshire show ring, we're moving into our selection of Grand Champion of the show. Before we announce those animals in contention for Grand Champion, we'd like to announce our Premier Breeder and Premier Exhibitor. Winning both banners, congratulations to the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. They'll be our Premier Breeder and Premier Exhibitor of the show. Also, congratulations to our Herdsman Award winner, which is Baker's Fashion. Congratulations, everybody. We'll pick up your prizes and your banners here. I want to introduce those animals competing for grand champion of our 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire Show. Our junior champions from earlier today. Our junior champion was our winning fall calf, entry number 32, Ms. Cinderella Wildcard Cincy, exhibited by Bailey and Tate Komar of Glasgow, Kentucky. Our reserve junior champion was our winning spring calf, entry number 14, SNK Margaritaville, exhibited by Carter Brandstetter and Ryland Pike of JSB Acres in Hardyville, Kentucky. Our intermediate champion was our winning senior 3-year-old, entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Our reserve intermediate champion was our winning senior 2-year-old, entry number 93, Lazy M Strike Me Sold, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Kinslow of Smithsgrove, Kentucky. And our senior champion was our winning 4-year-old cow, entry number 107, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. And our reserve senior champion was our winning 5-year-old cow, entry number 110, Klein's Waterloo Wendy, exhibited by Melkin Dudd's Farm of Daleville, Indiana. These are your final animals in contention for our title of Grand Champion of our show. Judge Evans, it's certainly been a joy to watch you judge here today and work through a really high-quality Ayrshire show. Your selection of Grand Champion.
Well, let's give all the exhibitors a big round of applause, both the ones that we have out here and the ones that have shown all day. We brought back all our champions today, our 2 junior champions. I really liked them when I had them out for JC, and I feel better about them now. These are 2 heifers that I think are going to go on and do really good things. Come later in the fall, our first place fall calf, just a balanced heifer, pretty, great-legged. Our first place junior calf, just so massive in her front end, so long in her neck, so feminine, so much quality down through that bone. Our intermediate champions, our first place senior 3-year-old, the cow you really admire the frame on, that length to that front end, the run to that front end, combining that quality of the mammary system and the dairy quality that got her over our first place senior 2-year-old, the cow that has so much strength all the way through, and couples that with a beautiful udder in her own right. And then in our senior division, we had our first place 4-year-old, a cow you really admire the udder on, a cow wears just a beautiful mammary system today. And then our first place 5-year-old with 4 calves and so much strength. I'm going to go out and select your grand, reserve, and honorable mention, and let's give all these exhibitors another big round of applause. I really appreciate them having me. We talked about these 2 intermediate champions a lot, and the reasons stay the same for us today. Just appreciate the dairiness on this senior 3-year-old over our senior 2, that rump structure, the levelness from hooks to pins, the way she sits that tail head down between them. And then we're going to give the advantage to the reserve intermediate over our senior champion, just so much more mass through that midsection. She's wider in that chest floor, she's deeper in that heart, shows more expanse through that midsection, but taking nothing away from this 4-year-old. What a dairy cow. What a beautiful udder she wears. Just like to see a little bit more middle for us today, a little bit more width through that front end to compete with the intermediate champions. Congratulations on a great show.
Congratulations to the grand champion of the 2026 Kentucky State Fair Ayrshire Show. She was our winning senior 3-year-old and our intermediate champion, and now our grand champion, entry number 102, Grandview Champ Dinah, exhibited by Gibson, Elmore, Turner, and Stump of Eminence, Kentucky. Our reserve grand champion was our reserve intermediate champion our winning senior 2-year-old, entry number 93, Lazy M Strike Me Sold, exhibited by Jeremy and Kelsey Kinslow of Smith Grove, Kentucky. And our honorable mention grand champion was our senior champion cow, our winning 4-year-old, entry number 107, Margot Caramel, exhibited by the Klein family of Milton, Indiana. Congratulations. And I believe we have no groups for our Ayrshire show, so congratulations to all of our champions and all of our exhibitors here today. Thank you to Judge Greg Evans for efficiently and so knowledgeably officiating our show. And that's a wrap for our 2020